gentlemen, the YouTube citizens, is this Tru Inferno, aka Mr. Smash Adams himself, ladies and gentlemen. And we are continuing where we left off last week, and that is my topic on the status of the club scene. So let's get straight into it, because last week I told y'all my experience on what it's like to go to the club nowadays. In this case, not this past Saturday, but 2 Saturdays ago. I also went this past Saturday 'cause we got in for free. And that's should be. So let's get straight into it. Let's talk about that. The pricing and getting in, these RSVP things. You see, back in the day, and this is why the club scene was so much better back in the day. Like, 2004 up to 2011, maybe 12. I'm gonna say 11. 2004 up to 2011. And because of these things right here that I'm about to name, and the first one is the pricing. Now, yeah, the standard back then for most of these clubs was 20 if you're a dude. But there were some clubs out there that would charge either 10 or 15. I remember a club 112 out in Windsor, which was in Canada, would charge 15. And there was a few places that would charge 10. There's a few places now that would charge 10. You just gotta find the right spot. But the majority of them would charge 20. However, there was an alternative back then, and they starting to do more of this now, or bringing it back now, I should say. They'll do this free before a certain time limit with RSVP, or it'll be $10 before a certain time limit. After that, like back then, it was like $10 before 11 or something like that, 10 before 10 or some crap like that. After that, it was 20. That was still cool, but it got to a point like a year ago where they just start with the RSVP crap, and I was like, nah, man, I ain't paying 20 just to go in and not really have the time that I used to have back in the day. Screw that noise. But now they bring it the RSVP thing. But not, I'm gonna say they're doing that now. They've been doing that for a number of months now this year. So that's a good thing about the club scene now, that some of these places doing the free before a certain time frame with the RSVP thing. Free before 11 or free before midnight or wherever. So yeah, that was the one difference between the clubs nowadays and the clubs back in the day. Although now it's not much of a difference, but one major difference now in comparison to what it was back in the day is the music. The music back then. Let me tell you what the music was like. Like if you showed up at a certain time frame, like if you show up like at 10, 10:30, 11, probably before 11:30, they'll play this hustling music. Where you could go on the dance floor and just get your ballroom on, get your step on, get your hustle on, whatever you want to call it. Your two-step, well, I'm going to say two-step, but, those type of dances. And it was cool, because that's what me and my boys, we loved that joint. And cats would be, like, mocking whatever it is we be doing on the dance floor with the steps and things of that nature. We even made up our own, and cats would still try to jock us, though. It was crazy, but it was hype, though. I mean, they still play it now, but they rarely do it. And when they do it now, they only play like one stepping song in the middle of a bunch of bangers and crap like that. And now you're like, what the heck? So, you don't get that. Okay, back to back to back to back with the stepping music, and then they go change it. Now, outside from the stepping music, the main music that I want to hear at the club is the type of music where you make the females get on the floor and just basically twerk, set their booties and stuff like that, to the point where just about any dude can dance up on them. They don't care because their song is on, and they, dudes get their dances on, the females get their dances on, and so forth and whatnot. No, it's not like that no more. Nowadays, all you hear is these bangers, really. These bangers, this get hype, get crunk type, well, not crunk, but these get hype type of, basically you hear songs that you would normally bang in your car. That's all you would hear. And I'm like, okay, I need some more variety than this, man. I need them booty popping songs or something, something to make the females, cause yeah, I've seen the females get hype and just, acting like they're in a car, waving their hands up and down like they're in a car, crap like that. Yeah, that's okay, but no, I need to see them work it. Play some songs that make these females work it. They don't do that as much anymore, man. That's even crazy. And Speaking of hype songs, I mean like the really hype songs, they don't play those anymore either. Like like KD's is in my hood. Obviously they don't play that no more. It's an old song, you know, or that Gigi about to drink, Gigi about to smoke. That song, obviously, that song is old as heck too. But I mean, there gotta be some songs out there similar to those that just make you lose your mind, just get crazy, you know. But they don't play those anymore. They play those typicals. Hey, we in the car, turn the bass up and let your music bang. They play those types of tracks nowadays. I'm like, no, I need some more variety in that. And speaking of women dancing, that's another problem nowadays. You see, back then, the females back then, even though the really fine ones you would not see them in the club until the end of the club, where you see them walk out of the club, you'd be like, where they was at or whatever. But outside of that, the majority of the females back then, dog, they was dancing. Again, it's mostly because the right music was playing. But for the most part, not only were they dancing, but they would approach the dudes and start dancing on the dudes. And that's how it was back then. It was cool. And yeah, I can understand that there's some females who don't want to dance with a dude because they try to hit on them, get their phone number and all that crap and blah blah blah. I can get that, but I can speak for some of the dudes when I say the following: we don't go to the clubs just to get phone numbers or to get phone numbers. Period. We just go there to have a good time and just dance with the females. That's it. That's really what I like to go to the clubs to do. Just go up there, get some dancing with some females, and that's it. And that's what I was all about back then. That's what I was all about now, but that seemed not the case because the females not cooperating. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that I'll approach a female that would walk away. It's just that nowadays I don't have to approach them because all they care about is just dancing amongst themselves and crap like that. And I'm like, you can do that inside of your house. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to pay 10 or $20 or how much females pay nowadays. Because back then, female pay less than dudes to get in the club. I don't know how much they pay now. But still, though, like, you don't have to pay just to do that crap. You can just stay home, blast your music, and do that crap. I mean, like, when you out, I mean, try to mingle. You don't have to get a dude's phone number. The dudes, again, don't have to try to get your phone number. But at least mingle, interact, or something. But, again, this is a part of the music. And that's it's played. Not a lot of booty popping music being played nowadays. Now, I will admit, like I said, I've been to the club this past Saturday, and this one chick came up to me and started dancing on me. So I'm not saying that no longer exists, but it's rare. It is extremely rare because for the most part, it's the dudes that have to approach the females to get the dance going. Where back then it was even. It was either dudes would approach the females or the females would approach the dudes. But nowadays, it's mostly the dudes have to approach the females and to try and get a dance. And speaking of dance, that's another issue. It's the dance floors nowadays. Now, actually there was two main clubs going on now. One of them about to shut down, believe it or not. Um, and both of the dance floors in both of these places are awful. The one about to shut down, that's not really a dance floor there. It's just basically a giant bar that you can walk around. And it's just like a floor with a giant bar in the middle. You just walk around the bar. That's it. There's a few little chairs, or not chairs, few little couches and tables, and they just call them quote unquote VIP. I'm like, no, this is stupid. It don't look like an actual club. It looks like a bar. That basically it. And yeah, they got like a little outside spot, but they got a bunch of, them tall tables with the stools. I'm like, no, remove that crap, and that could be a dance floor. But nope, they don't do that. Not only that, they don't even open the outside spot. And not because it's October. I'm talking about like back when it's August and September where it was still warm. I'm like, no, open that crap up, man. And let's get a dance floor. But nah, man, they not doing that, and they closing down. And I'm kind of glad they closing down. And there's another reason why I'm glad they're closing down. I'll get more on that in a minute. Now, the one that I went to for the past 2 weeks, their dance floor is but back then when it was under a different name, where it was like how the inside was set up differently, the dance floor was slightly bigger than what it is now. So, and they had railings all around, so I could just lean on the railing. The girl come up to me, and instead, even though she giving me a dance, I'm set it up to a point where it looked like she giving me a lap dance. It's hilarious. Oh man. But yeah, these dance floors nowadays are awful. And another reason why I'm glad that this one club is closing down is because of its location. And that's another problem with the club scene nowadays. Although they are trying to fix it, they're trying to fix it. But like again, like a couple of months back, last year or whatever, these clubs would be outside of Detroit. Like they would be in Novi, they would be in Royal Oak or Pontiac or whatever, but mostly Novi. And I'm like, I remember one time, me and two of my boys, we went downtown because we left the casino. And this was a either Friday night or Saturday night. I forgot which one. We went downtown. Nothing was going on. We drove around to all the spots that we know that the club still exists or the club should be at. Nothing. Like, I mean, yeah, there may be like a techno spot or whatever, but that's not really our thing. Like, I wouldn't mind going to. Actually, we did go to a techno spot one time, but it's just like the club scene moved away from Detroit to outside of Detroit. But now they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back, so that's a good thing too. And there was one more thing, but I forgot what it was. It wasn't really that important. But basically, it's the cats, the people who show up at the club. They show up late as heck, dog. Like it'll be 10, like it don't fill up until like 12:30, and I'm like, y'all basically got an hour and a half to do whatever. So y'all basically just wasted $20 to be in the club for an hour and a half to just do nothing until 1 o'clock playing the quote unquote good songs, and then y'all get in the dance floor. I mean, no, y'all should have been there at 11 at the earliest, not at the earliest, at the latest, and then be on the dance floor at 11:30 at the latest and get your thing going or wherever. But no, everybody showing up late like at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and everybody not getting on the dance floor until 1 o'clock, 1:30 is retarded. So the people going to the party. So it's again the pricing, although that's getting better. The location is getting better. The music is bad. The women dancing is bad. But again, you can mostly blame that on the music. The dance floors are bad, and the fact that people showing up late or whatever. And as you can see, we won this game right here. And what you are listening to is my third and final single off of my upcoming B album, The Kyoto Hour Volume 2 Continuity. And this single is called Sanke, which translates to respect. And the subtitle is Thanks Hiroshi Fujiwara, the innovator for Japanese hip hop. We're not the innovator of Japan, and kind of was a pioneer for it. So basically, this single is like a tribute to that cat. So yeah, man, this is the new Jay Gatsby saying, peace out, y'all.